Mitram and Bandhuvo, welcome to South Asia Maps, your educational channel. This is your presenter, Dr. J. Reddy. Today we are going to talk about part 84 of our fascinating human ecology series, Human Predicament, Human Impasse in the 21st Century. Excuse me for my allergies. How United States of America became very wealthy nation, affluent nation. What is the basis of that? What is the vital force that propelled the United States as a major prominent global power? And we will see what are the real vital forces. After this presentation, you will get a fascinating idea about the ecological view of human history, that is, ecology wrapped around human history, United States history here, a political history. How, and looking at it, ecological perspective. It is the takeover, it is the drawdown that made the United States very powerful, affluent nation. As we discussed before, the collapse of American dream, why that happened also, you can understand from this. It's 1774 United States, 13 colonies, 1850 United States, coast to coast. And if you are new to my education channel, South Asia Maps J. Reddy, and I already posted more than 300 or so meticulously made videos on diverse varied topics, including global geography and human ecology. You can go and look at it. Excuse me. The United States, how it became an affluent nation. United States becoming an affluent nation is little to do with its declaration of independence by the Continental Congress. A lot of people think United States is very wealthy, powerful because of its democracy, constitution, Bill of Rights and all those. But they have very little role to play. That is the pre-ecological political perspective. Here we will dig into deeper ecological perspective. Dr. Cotton talks about that. He refers to 1893 American Historical Association meeting presentation by Frederick Jackson Turner. And he made this point, that is 1893 means nearly 125 years back itself. At that time ecology was not that much very popular science, but he broadly discerned that. That's what Dr. Cotton in his famous work excuse me, that is the Overshoot book talks about. In 1774, the 13 colonies of United States, they declared independence. So the new nation was born. That was confined to only this area. South is the Spanish territory, Florida. That is unorganized Indian territories, native Indian territories. This is the New France, at that time called, during Napoleon times, Louisiana territory, the port city of New Orleans and Mississippi, and the Texas region, Alta California, that is part of Mexico at the time, called New Spain, or New Viceroyalty of Spain, the colony of Spain, the Spain and New Spain. Then the Oregon territory and so on. And in 1805, third president, Thomas Jefferson, purchased this area, the new frontier, vast land, almost United States, overnight doubled the territory. called Louisiana Purchase. Later, Texas annexation of Alta California, that is Upper California. So now Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, all those regions. By 1850, United States become very powerful, vast nation from coast to coast. Almost by the time of Lincoln's assassination in 1865, transcontinental railways were built from this Boston, this area, to San Francisco area. So the Continental Congress declared independence. They fought with Britain and became independent country and all those things. The vital force that propelled the United Nations, a powerful nation, is there is the presence of frontier. This is all frontier, free land. It has a plenty of flora and fauna, essentially plants and animals, which the European colonizers took over. That is called takeover. Takeover means displacing the flora and fauna, the competitor for humans, for human benefits. Later, coal discoveries, oil discoveries after steam engine invention in the Great Britain, they started digging down. That is called drawing down and down. Mostly the coal, oil, natural gas by 1815 or so. That is the takeover, drawdown of vast resources, energy, propelled United States, a powerful nation. One time the Europeans found a vast landmass. United States today, even including Alaska and Hawaii, outside the 48 continental states, is 10 million square kilometers. That is the size of Europe west of Urals. If you take the Russian part, that is 4 million square kilometers, there is only 6 million square kilometers in Europe today, whereas America is much more bigger. So the presence of the frontier, the presence of free land, the Texas, Louisiana Territory, Alta California, and frontier advancement by the European colonizers. The dispensable flora and fauna and bisons all removed, and the land was taken over for human benefits. That means humans increase the carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is the population a land can support indefinitely. That means the human load a land can support. That means later when they met the Native Amerindians or Red Indians, the locals, that Europeans considered disregardable, they eliminated them and confined them to small reservations, took over the entire land. 1774, 1850, coast to coast, they populated, took over the entire land. The takeover and drawdown that made America a very powerful nation. They enjoyed a lot of territory at the cost of flora and fauna and native Indians. This one-time discovery by Columbus and Europeans of the vast land, virgin forest, virgin soils, the prairies, the land with plenty of the coal, later plenty of oil, made the America a very powerful nation, the propelled into very powerful nation. That's what we discuss today in this part. That is how United States become affluent nation. The vital force behind United States becoming an affluent nation has very little to do with democracy, constitution, Bill of Rights, the Continental Congress declarations. It is to do with taking over and drawing down of vast fossil fuel resources. Before that, 82, we looked at population pressures, mutual interference, and what is underdeveloped nations. So all those things you can look at appropriate presentation in the human ecology playlist. Before that, we look at the various important provinces in India, how many millions of people they are contributing per decade. Take for example Uttar Pradesh, United Provinces contributes a whopping amount of around about 35 million people per decade. This decade 35, next decade 35. Immense amount of population. India itself contributes every decade 100 million people to the planet Earth's 8 billion. That means 8,000 million people. That is 800 crores. Population elephant on the planet Earth. And these are the basic things: carrying capacity, taking over, drawdown. You can look at them in the presentations. That's what we discussed today, the fascinating presentation how United States became a very powerful nation. What is the vital force behind this or beneath it? It is not the politics or democracy we discerned, our constitution, our voting. This is essentially taking over, drawing down of vast resources, virgin lands, virgin forest by European colonies. See you later, Mitram and Bandhuvam, in other presentations, and I will be very glad to know your comments and any other responses you will make on these presentations. And see you later in other presentations.